36 runs scored this series, 15 home runs. What has enabled this offense to get off to such a hot start?
Good players. Probably the thing I felt best about coming out of spring training is the amount all those guys were able to get what I felt like it was the right amount of playing time, good amount of at bats. I felt like most of the guys were in a pretty good place with their swings, and they've gone out and really done a good job of just executing the game plan and taking tough at bats. Doesn't mean you're not always going to have days like this, obviously, but I like the approach and just the frame of mind every day.
They intentionally walked Aaron Judge there in that third inning, and they didn't basically pitch to him thereafter. Did you like the way Jazz responded hitting behind him? I did. I mean, that's, you can't, the tendency is to want to go up there and show them, right? And you got to take what the game gives you and control what you control, and that's the at-bat. And so that made me feel good to see him just have a really good bat. Obviously, hits homer there, which is great, but it's like, that's going to happen from time to time, and you got to control that situation. I thought he did a good job of that. And just what was your first impression of Stroman this year? I thought Stroh was good. Bauer's got him. Would have liked to have gotten him through there, but we're kind of going 80 pitches with him today, I think was his number. It just felt like, I didn't want to get beat there in a spot or get them back in the game potentially with a tough matchup and Yelich there, and felt like we were set up. So I thought overall Stroh threw the ball well, had some swing and miss going too, kind of in line with what he was in spring training. I thought he carried that in and had a pretty sharp first outing.
Max.
Judge had one of the best right-handed hitting seasons of all time last year, and it took him almost a month to really get going. If these first three games are any indication, what do you think that he's capable of? I mean, you never know. Again, with Aaron, you never put a ceiling on what's possible with what he can do. It's good to see him obviously have a really great first series, but who knows? In 22, how could you top that? And he probably did in 24. He might have been on his way to topping it in 23 before he got hurt. So just taking it one game at a time with him, and it's good to see him, off on a good note in their first series.
Greg, on the wall.
Besides all the homers, how much did you like that sixth inning where you kind of manufactured some runs with the base running guys tagging up on that fly ball to center field?
Yeah, I think Belly's got 3 sack flies now. He had some good at-bats today. Yeah, I feel like we've done that a handful of times now in these first few games, too, where you've seen us, kind of routinely have that ability to go first and third. We've taken the backside base on a high throw or two, so that's been good to see too. So look, and that's an area in this with our team that I feel like athletically speaking, we're going to be able to take some extra bases just because we have legit speed now at a lot of spots. So it's good to see that.
Justin.
Numerous people over the last couple of days talk about the importance of getting the firsts out of the way, getting off and rolling. What's the best part about getting a sweep in this fashion?
A sweep going into an off day is always a treat, honestly. Look, I think I said it before opening day. It's also the week of overreactions. So it's just 3 games, but you take wins when you can get them, because those don't come off the board, right? So there's going to be moments when it's a challenge and it's tough. So anytime you can sweep a team, especially a playoff caliber team like the Brewers to start the season, that's always a good thing. But, it's also one series, and, it's a beautiful thing going into an off day. These guys kind of regroup a little, get more settled into, where they are and living and all that. And and then we got a really tough series coming up with the Diamondbacks coming in. But it's always nice to rack up wins when you can. And a lot of good things along the way. And like you said, a lot of guys getting settled into the season, getting hits, making their plays, what have you.
Anyone else? Right here in the middle.
During the very beginning of the season, more than any other time, there are going to be dramatic temperature drops. And, of course, yesterday was almost 80, and now not getting out of the 50s. Is there anything you have to remind your players about, from one day to the next when that happens? Or
not really. I mean, that's, the training and the strength and conditioning crew kind of stay on that pretty heavy. And then when you first start going into the summer months where you start getting some of those places where you can get some really hot situations, you pay attention to it. So, no, not much in yesterday to today.
Thank you, Aaron.